terrifying near-death experiences. Joining me now is Pat Young. Pat, you actually survived a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the neck. What was going on in your life?
It's a time of my life I don't like to talk about because it was so trying on my children and I. But I knew I had to do something drastic enough to force outside help or intervention. So that's what I did to get it.
Your near-death experience after this event was terrifying.
It was the worst possible situation you could ever imagine. I was aware of being in a straight-back chair, but I was completely rigid. I was not able to move anything but my eyes. I couldn't move my head or anything. And very small, child-sized, extremely grotesque little beings seemed to be preparing me. I was aware that they were preparing me for something, but they were doing so by having fun themselves. And they were, this is gross, they were shooting me and making holes in me, all over my body, my legs, my neck, my cheek, my eye socket, anywhere. And they were putting anything that was horrible in them, excrement, vomit, bile, anything that was absolutely hideous. And you don't feel the pain, but you're totally aware of the smell, the feeling, and everything.
Disgust.
The absolute grotesqueness. And it makes you extremely nauseated, and you can't gag, you can't cough. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything but breathe. They had their fun, and I was ready for whatever. And just beyond my right shoulder, I could hear a violent, raspy breathing, heavy, hot, raspy breathing, and a stench that was beyond anything I have ever smelled before. And I've smelled cesspools in rotting flesh and everything, and this was a stench beyond anything that I had ever smelled. And it was getting closer. And I was totally aware that as soon as that whatever came within my view, that absolute pure evil was going to overtake me, and anything I had gone through up till then was minor, very small. And I was absolutely petrified. And at the very last instant, when I knew that the very next breath would bring that vision into my line of view, I screamed out in my mind. I screamed out as loud as I could, "Oh God, please help me." And there I go, goosebumps. And that very instant, I opened my eyes, and I was alive. So I had this just totally overpowering, overwhelming feeling of good and love and total contentment.
Now that's very interesting, Pat. You have this feeling of good and love and total contentment without having to go through the near-death experience of the light. You had it just by not being where you were.
Very instant, yeah.
Were you a very bad person all your life that you deserved this?
I certainly wouldn't like to think so, no.
I can't imagine you being that bad.
No.
You said you didn't feel pain, but were you terrified?
I was beyond terrified. I was totally beyond terrified.
Are you afraid to die now?
No.
Well, why not?
Because I know what love is out there, and I'm looking for it. Strangely, people have asked me that, and I said, oddly enough, I'm sort of looking forward to it because I want to feel that love again. The ultimate, the most love.
You have no fear you'll go back to that place?
No.
Why do you think this happened to you?
I've often wondered, but the biggest thing I can think of is it was God's little nudge to let me know.
I think I sense a lot of people are somewhat doubting this and don't believe it, but I used to work in an emergency room back home, and they brought a teenage, where she was 18 years old, she had just delivered a baby. They flew her in from where she had previously died. She died 5 times. We brought her back 3 times. She died at the old hospital. They flew her on the helicopter. She died in the helicopter. She died 3 times at the hospital where we were. And they felt for sure that this girl would never make it, but she ended up walking out of the hospital 3 months later. With just blindness, she became fully blind, but she made it. And the doctors often wondered what happened during the time she died, what brought her back.
Yeah.
So,
who knows? A lot of people are afraid to talk about this, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because especially when you don't have the good one, you're supposed to have the good one, aren't you?
That's right.
Have you heard about a near-death experience, Pat, before you had this experience?
I never heard of
You never heard of the white light and all that?
Never heard of such a thing before.
Yes, I wonder if any of you feel that you've had a spiritual awakening as a result of this, and has this changed your feelings about heaven and hell?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
I value my body more than I ever have my life prior, and my body is a vessel to hold what's good.
And value others.
Yeah.
Pat, same for you?
Oh, definitely. You can't feel that much evil without knowing that there has to be that much love. And when you feel the love, there's nothing else you want more.
When we return, another chilling account of hell.